Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. Thank you for making time. However you are consuming this product, whether it's watching it on YouTube. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good day. All the audio streams coming through crystal clear. And then, of course, on the power, the old 620 CKRM. We're playing sick today. We'll get to that in a bit. It's man flu season over here. We're going to talk lots of flag football. I got comments. You know that if you listen to the show often. I like to coach. I like to watch a lot of flag football. So I'm going to talk about that debacle on Saturday. We'll talk Western Hockey League, NHL, SJHL. I have like a pseudo SJHL report today as all the series fire again tonight. A little bit of March Madness. If you're just a fan of sport and golf specifically, you're excited that Tiger Woods is playing competitive golf tonight. Yes, it's in a simulator form indoors, but nonetheless, he's playing. In about 8 minutes time, we're going to hear from Liam Pugh, Regina Pat, and also Regina Pat Canadian, who scored the overtime winner last night in Moose Jaw. Clark Munroe, like I said, we kind of got a little SJHL 1A report. Clark Munroe is going to come into studio, chat some SJ with us. Also some Western Canadian Baseball League. Hour 2, Mason Nyhus. He used to quarterback Canada's flag football team. Canada's men's flag football team. Now he's the OC and quarterbacks coach up at the U of S. I'm really curious to get Mason's comments on what he saw Saturday. Arash Madani's in an hour 2. We will have Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia. We're playing for a Hyundai, Colson? $100 today. I guess I'll give you a little bit of a tease. It is going to be based around U18 AAA hockey, also known as midget AAA hockey. All right? Hour 3, Glen Suitor. And we're going to hear from Carson Sombach, who's getting ready for the CFL Combine. Sprinkle in a little bit of everything. I love when you participate, especially all you regulars out there. And you guys will want to chirp me today because of this cold. 936-6262. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Prairie Land Rentals, even though there's snow coming in the forecast, I don't know if you need a Husqvarna snow thrower, but they got Husqvarna everything. Then they got lawnmowers rolling in. You get to deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. 936-6262, like I said. All of our guests join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Perfect night for Western Pizza if you don't like the pizza or don't want the pizza. How about some of the Greek favorites? Souvlaki, ribs, salad. You just can't make that at home. So you know when people say, oh, I feel like I've been hit by a truck. I got hit by a truck once. Funny story. I was at a slow pitch tournament, and I want to say it was Attons Lake out by Cut Knife, Saskatchewan. And I wasn't paying attention, and the driver wasn't paying attention, and we were hanging out. And it wasn't going very fast, but it hit me. Luckily, it stopped. And the side of my body was all bruised up. Everyone thought it was funny. Probably had a few cocktails in me, so that helped for a bit. And then once that wore off, it was like, But that's what I feel like. And I know if you have kids, there's a good chance that they have been sick or they are sick, because this thing is going around the schools in Regina like crazy. My son had it got it Friday, maybe Thursday. It's going around Martin Collegiate. Fever, played a hockey game with a fever, which I would have never done. Well, maybe. Kids are different. And then my daughter got it, and I got it. Now, the problem is, I've been coughing so much at night, annoying Mrs. S. Want to go sleep outside. But I went for a massage yesterday. I don't know why, thinking that would be a good idea. It's because of tendonitis in my arm and I want to swing the wrenches next week. And so my masseuse was like, ooh, I'll really loosen up those ribs. Because if you're golfing, then you won't be as stiff after. Loosen up the ribs. who am I to call out a masseuse and say, no, so go with it, whatever. Hacking and coughing, I felt bad in that respect. Thinking that this rib thing might be a good thing. She might be onto something. Well, let me tell you something. Every time I cough now, it feels like someone is ramming the corner of a 2x4 into my sides. Not just straight up hacksaw Jim Duggan across the back. It's like the corner because it's pointy and it's sharp and it hurts. So if you hear me cough and I sound like I'm in absolute pain, that is the case. Women out there, you're going, oh, man, cold. Men are so weak. Maybe we are. I don't know. How about you carry it? You're going to get this, Colson. The birth thing. Why don't you try pushing out a baby? I would like to. Just to kind of know. Just to have the, okay, what's it like? Is it like gout? Is it? I don't know. I'm sure it sucks. But I'm just dreading coughing for the next 3 hours. That's all I know. 2x4 side of the ribs. Has anyone looked at the National Hockey League standings in the last little while? If you have a team, if you have a horse in the race, then you probably are paying attention. For me, it's kind of who I sprinkle on. Keniston Super Draft is coming up, by the way. We're going to be on that here. And I'm like, what did I miss in the last 3 days? Really not paying that much attention, especially the last 2 days, to the NHL, down and out, sleeping in a bunker. Well, the Nashville Predators are currently in a wild card spot. If you would have told me that, I would have been like, what? They have 75 points. They've won 4 in a row. Very odd. The Winnipeg Jets were, for some reason, I want Winnipeg to make the playoffs. They're still 5 points out. They got the Vegas Golden Knights tonight at home. Need points. Vegas is on a road trip. Vegas maybe not getting super jacked up for a game in Winnipeg. Sorry, everyone in Winnipeg. Maybe they can steal one there. And I was kind of saying, well, it'd be nice if the San Jose Sharks would make it. But they're 5 points back. San Jose has lost 4 in a row. So as good as things were. Yeah, Carson saying, take that, Shark fans.
I meant to hit the gasp.
Here's one of the dumbest things you're going to hear all day. The Calgary Flames are actually only 10 points out of a playoff spot. I know we got Eric tomorrow. So are they going to that mushy?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. Are they going to that mushy middle area again where like they're going to rattle off 3 more wins and then everyone's going to lose their minds going, oh, Calgary's only 6 points out. Calgary's got it. And it's like I listen to a lot of the Calgary sports show. I love when they have Eric on there too. They tease him. But they are really banking on Gavin McKenna. And this is not a foregone conclusion. I worry about that. They are putting a lot of stock into getting that first overall pick. Because now, technically, Chicago is below them and Vancouver in the West. If you look over in the East, the New York Rangers are there. They stink.
Vancouver's the first team to be eliminated, so they'd have the best odds, right now?
Well, it's still how it plays out.
Yeah.
Who finishes dead last. Detroit Red Wings on the East, I thought they were in. Now they're 1 point on the outside looking in. The Ottawa Senators, sure. Put Ottawa in the playoffs. Does anyone 936-6262? Do we have any Ottawa Senator fans out there? They're just kind of there. And then if you're on that big hole, it's a Canadian team, Canada's got to win the Stanley Cup, yada, 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 then you probably want Ottawa there. They're on the outside looking in. Love the Buffalo Sabres. Now not the top team in the East. Actually, Carolina's 1 point up on them. It's very interesting and curious to watch this all play out in the NHL. There's more to get to on that. James is our first regular jumping in on the text line. How's it going, James? Hey, boys. Yep, tons of flu going around big time. A guy wanted to talk riders, coughing and more snot than I've seen. Was sporting some rider gear, getting $8 a gallon gas on the weekend. Hope he feels better. Yeah. See, I've been keeping my distance, though, as best I can. Not shaking hands. Trying not even to do the fist pump thing. Wasn't there that dumb elbow thing? Was the start of COVID?
That's a thing.
That's not still a thing.
Well, I don't know if it's still a thing, but it was a thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody do that. And we're gonna be touching elbows. What? Man, we are stupid as a society sometimes, the stuff we fall for. Okay. Like the elbows up thing too. That video's going around for some reason on social media. Political wise, go with what you want, but that come on. That dance and what they were doing there. Ugh. That you can't erase that. That's out there forever now. Am I the only one excited about Tiger Woods playing competitive golf tonight? Yes, it's in the TGL, hitting into a big screen, but he's going to be out there. And it sounds like he's playing in the Masters. So this is a test maybe for just the body. Obviously, he's hitting balls. It is the hills and the walking and the taxing element that goes on the body. Especially, I've never been to Augusta, but now as the what am I looking for? Technology and how good it is on TV and the TV cameras and how many TV cameras there is and the quality. There is a lot of hills at that golf course. And I think anybody else with me here? When you used to watch the Masters in like the 90s and early 2000s, you didn't really see the hills. Like, what is it? The par 5, the easier par 5. Yeah, that looks like a hill. But then they start showing the other holes now, and it's like, whew, that is a hoof. That is a hoof. So I want to see Tiger there just because it's Tiger Woods. And I know my wife will go, yeah, but morally, he was a bit of a D-bag and da-da-da. And I said, okay, well, why do you like Keith Urban then? And then that's usually the end of the conversation.
I'm not touching that. No, I was coming in because you were talking the Masters, and I saw ESPN putting out a few things. They've got a few documentary kind of things coming out. You like your 30 for 30s, don't you?
Oh, love those.
So I'm just trying to find them now, but they had one. Here it is. ESPN original series called Where It Lies, premiering April 6th. 4-part series where they go to 4 different public golf courses and follow individual people, just, regular Joes, as they call it, central to the game's DNA. So I'm like, oh, that's right up your alley there.
I saw the preview for this.
Yeah.
When does it start?
April 6th on ESPN. Okay. So there's that one. And then I saw the annual Georgia on My Mind campaign, which is the Masters campaign, where it's essentially a trailer for the Masters coming up, right? So I saw that. Looked like a good promo this year. And then I saw, you remember last year when Rory won?
Yeah.
There was the one picture going around, and the watermark said Ken Griffey Jr., and everyone's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And so, yeah, Ken Griffey Jr.,
the camera,
the ball player, he's an amateur photographer.
Yeah.
And they're doing a documentary on him last year. And the bit that I watched, he just shows up as an amateur photographer, like, hey, I'm just here to take pictures for fun. You do your thing. I'm just going to do my thing, right? And so he's going through, taking pictures. It shows video of him going in with the pros, and they're critiquing his pictures, going, this background's too busy. You got to do something different here, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And it all comes down to, and he gets that iconic shot of Rory at the end. So I'm like, that's going to be cool too.
The where it lies thing, and just following around the hacks and those munis. That'll be that will be something to watch. Also, there's New Kids on the Block documentary coming out on Netflix.
Oh.
I think the wife and I are gonna definitely watch that. I was a New Kids on the Block fan. I'll admit it. What's the statute of limitations on that? I was like the late 80s. I'm okay. I'm married. I got 2 kids. John the Habs fan says, John the Habs fan here. The Senators, I hope, miss the playoffs. See, I get that. I get that, John. I want to talk Habs. You'll want to tune in tomorrow, because not only am I going to have Don Hewitt on to talk Habs, we're scheduled to be joined by Sean Campbell, play-by-play voice on the radio side for the Montreal Canadiens, the Habitants. So there you go, John. You'll like tomorrow's show. Stay tuned for today, though. And if you're watching on the YouTube chat, you can even laugh when I cough. Brandon, I hope you feel better soon, Barney. The flag football on the weekend was not what I was expecting at all. Really different rules, and those NFL athletes really struggled to grab flags. OBJ still has a hand, so Tom looked good too. How about that catch by OBJ? It was almost like that was AI generated. Oh, if you're watching the stream, Colson's got it. Option out. Burrow
freedom.
To
Daniels corner.
Daniels.
Double coverage.
Odell
Beckham Jr.
That is sick. If you're on the radio, he jumped up at the back of the end zone, caught it with one hand. The ball is smaller. They talked about that at all. I'm going to go down some rabbit holes about this NFL flag thing in a bit. I took notes. I watched them all. And, yeah. The ball. Tom looked okay. Let's be honest, Brandon. Tom rolled onto that field. He walked onto the field. He asked for a ball so he can do his regular warm-up throwing thing. And yeah, it didn't go well. It didn't go well. But who called it? Not to be the I called it guy. I said Team USA was going to slap him around.
They ran away with it.
And I think they took the pedal off the gas, or was told to, because it was getting really embarrassing. It reminded me a lot of when Ivan Drago beat the snot out of Apollo Cree. This is an exhibition. Throw the towel in already. It wasn't good. We got guests, so we're going to talk to Mason Nyhus in hour 2 about that. Glen Suitor is going to want to go deep. Glenn was supposed to go watch Nathan Rourke play flag football in Cloverdale, British Columbia on the weekend. I'm curious about that with Suits. That's in hour 3. Go to our first break here. When we come back, we're going to talk some AAA midget hockey. Big overtime win last night. We'll talk to the guy who scored the winner, Liam Pugh. It is a Sports Cage on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. Welcome back for Sask Lottery's main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Saskatchewan. So the West Regionals, TELUS Cup West Regionals, coming to Regina in a couple of weeks. The Regina Pat Canadians and the Moose Jaw Warriors will be in there. Ticket packages are available, $70 for all 7 games. Single games are going to be $20. The finals are going to be $25. So you might as well buy the full ticket package for $70. Available at reginapatcanadians.ca. Now, tomorrow night, we have game 3 between the Warriors and the Pat Canadians. The first 2 games has gone to overtime. So this hockey is these teams are tight. The hockey is good. You probably want to get advanced tickets. They are expecting it to be jam-packed at the Sixer. You can get those for tomorrow night also at reginapatcanadians.ca. Last night, it was a 4-3 Pat Canadians win. Liam Pugh scoring in overtime. Regina went 0 for 4 on the power play. Moose Jaw went 1 for 5 shots. That's why I tell you, these two teams are even. No wonder both games have gone to overtime. Moose Jaw 37 shots, Regina 35. So tight there. Like I said, it was Liam Pugh who scored the overtime winner. All right, Western Pizza Guest Hotline, Liam Pugh, overtime winner last night in Moose Jaw. Can you take us through that goal? Because it was a thing of beauty on the patience side.
No, I mean, me and Gardy are kind of coming down on 2-on-1, and I kind of noticed the goalie was out pretty far out of his net, and D-man kind of went down, so I cut to the middle and just tried to wait him out, and then I found a way into the back of the net.
One of those things, right, when it's like the stage is big and the game is big, but then it just slows down and it almost feels like practice or a shinny game.
I know, it's like slow-mo when you're in the moment.
Take us through the celebration.
Yeah, I mean, funny story. We were in intermission going into overtime, and I was like to the boys, I was like, I got a good feeling. I was like, I think I'm going to put this one in, and I'm going to do this Sally. And I was like, I'm going to do this Sally. And then I went for it, and I did that exact same Sally. And all the boys were like, yeah, you called it. So it was kind of called it, and then I did it.
That's awesome. This series, two overtime games. Why are these teams so close? Like they're not the same team. They play. They're a little more bigger. Maybe they're forechecking a little bit more. You guys, I would say, maybe a little more on the skill side at times. From your lens, why is this such an even series?
Yeah, I mean, it's two highly skilled teams, two teams that can work pretty hard. And I mean, it's a lot of WHL draft picks on both teams. So it's, it's just everyone's competing. Everyone wants to win. And obviously last year with Moose Jaw being in the finals, they kind of want to probably get back at us because we won it last year. So I think it's two really even teams that have been going back and forth all year.
Tomorrow night, a chance to wrap it up and sweep, which is key at the C6, at the Sixer. It will be packed again. The atmosphere, everything. How important is it to maybe sweep, especially for you and Maddox with other things on the go?
Yeah, no, I think it's very important. Obviously, you get to do it in the home rink in front of the home crowd. I think it'd be pretty special to get the sweep in C6, so we're hoping for the best.
And then I got to ask you, like, what have the days been like? Like, what's today like? Are you just practicing Pat C's? Is there a Pats practice too? Like, it's got to be pretty difficult, kind of juggling things because the Pats fire up Friday in Medicine Hat.
Yeah, it's been a lot recently, but today it's just we got school in the afternoon, and then we have a short C's practice, probably not going to be too long of a skate, and then a dinner with the Pats after C's practice. So there's a lot in one day, but it's good. It's good.
And then just, because, we talked before the season, we talked during the season. It's got to be as much work as it is and taxing, and people are, you got to do things like this. It's got to be fun.
Yeah, 100%. It's fun. You're doing the sport you love, so it's fun.
Liam, thanks so much. Go get it. Try and get that sweep tomorrow. Maybe get a couple days rest anyway on that body, and good luck in school. Hopefully there's no pop quiz this afternoon.
Yeah, I sure hope not. Thank you.
Busy young lad there. So yeah, they try and wrap things up tomorrow with Moose Jaw, which I don't know. I think Moose Jaw's due, and then they drag them back to Moose Jaw for, and then the Pats start Friday in Medicine Hat. So will Liam and Maddox go? I got a funny feeling Maddox is going with the Pats for sure to WHL side. Will they let maybe Liam stay back with the Pat C's? Because Moose Jaw wins tomorrow. And this series is far from over. Again, you want tickets tomorrow night? Probably going to be packed. I guess we could maybe say it might be sold out at the Sixer. Regina PatCanadians.ca. You can buy tickets for tomorrow. If it's anything like game one, then tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door. If anybody's listening out there and you want us to say just advance tickets because there's a chance to sell it, let us know. And then while you're there, you might as well grab get in the mixer for the West Regionals. $70 for all 7 games of that. And that's coming up the long weekend right here in Regina. There we go. The home of local sports in Saskatchewan. When we come back, we're going to talk more local sports. Let's talk a little SJHL, maybe even some Western Canada baseball as well. It's a Sports Cage. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's for Saskatchewan Lotteries, main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Saski. Quickly here to the text lines. First off, the SJHL commish is chirping me, saying I'm soft as butter. Yeah, you got man cold too. I know you, commish. You get the same treatment. Jeffrey says, I'm as excited to watch Woods at the Masters as I was to watch Arnold Palmer in 1993. I don't know if you're being facetious there or if you're being serious, Jeffrey, because then that also shows your age. I would have watched the Masters in 1993. I would have been in grade 10-ish. I don't remember the Arnold Palmer thing. It probably was that his last one. So I don't know if you're being serious about that. I'm excited. If Tiger Woods tees it up anywhere, I'm excited. Benny, Barney baby, just bought 2 advance tickets, still available. He's calling himself the Rochdale Rocket now. All right, Benny. Is that you that's got that truck on the lawn on that one street with 2 flat tires sitting there? I noticed it, and I'm like, when are they going to move that? Never mind, they can't. The tires are flat. Dino says, good to see you're giving the Habs some love tomorrow. They're a very exciting team, and I love the way that they build from within instead of going nuts in free agency. Can't wait, Dean in Regina. They are doing it right. Is not that I've ever been in the situation, but from watching it, I totally get it. James, the COVID elbows brings back memories. I had COVID 4 years ago, zero taste, smell for 49 days. Went toe-to-toe at the East End Superstore with a guy handing out anti-vax propaganda. The guy pushed me way too far. Enter Rob. James is an angry man. He's always talking about fighting. Edwin from Elbow checking in. I thought we were talking about elbows today. So I was like, Edwin, but he's from Elbow, Saskatchewan. Okay, that's cool. Pat C's Moose Jaw Warriors series has been some of the best hockey I've ever seen. That a boy, Edwin, you got a good eye for good hockey. It is. And tomorrow should be the same. The best part of it, if you can't, like I couldn't go to the game yesterday, nor was I going to go spread my virus in and around Moose Jaw. But they have the Flow Hockey app. Yeah, you got to pay for it. And then you got both the away and home. So last night I ended up just out of fluke, and I was so lazy to just move and do anything. I listened to JD Houghton's call for the night. Not a bad call. JD, not a bad guy. Not a bad call. And then it'll be back to Mr. Lloyd tomorrow. But yeah, Edwin, you are correct. It is some damn good hockey. And it's going to continue. There's only 2 games into the series. Could be wrapped up tomorrow, or we could go more. And then the West Regionals. And I don't know if this is something I should check here. We'll get my guest on, and then we'll check it. If that Brandon Winnipeg Bruins, Benny, you would know this. If it's where that series lands, because whoever comes out of Manitoba this year could be decent. I'm hearing. Joining me in studio, Mr. SJHL, not as much as Benny Walchuk, but close. Clarky Munroe comes in. Nice lid.
Yeah, I had to wear the hat, and then I see that all you guys are wearing the hat too, so it worked out great.
It's a SJHL Sports Cage hat kind of day. Heck, we'll give one away. 936-6262. You got to call though, and you have to pick it up because we can't ship these. We don't have the box. We don't have the budget for the boxes to ship hats. Yeah. 936-62, not in this economy. No. 936-6262. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, also, Colson will take a winner for a hat. SJHL, tonight, you're going to...
I'm going to be in Weyburn tonight. Weyburn-Nipawin Game 3. All the Game 3s are tonight, but Weyburn's close by, so it's easy to get to.
Nice concession. They run a nice concession.
One of the best. One of the best, I'll say it.
It is.
I'll put my neck on the line for that one, because it's competitive. That market's competitive, but they have one of the best.
And then you should go to Estevan tomorrow?
Estevan tomorrow for Flin Flon Estevan, Game 4.
Okay, I want to ask you, because I haven't had a chance to tune in, but I've been reading up on it. give me what's going on, because I was very intrigued about Melfort Battlefords, because Melfort, Trevor Blevs, I just had them kind of rolling going in, and probably the team you didn't want to play.
No, not at all.
But Battlefords now leads the series 2-0. How's that one gone?
Yeah, it's gone extremely well, and we were talking about it yesterday on our SJHL broadcasting that we do, and Melfort is a team that I think everybody, well, I say this and then I double take myself, but everybody kind of counted them out around the trade deadline. They were 10 points out of a playoff spot, 10th place. They were kind of the carryovers from the last 2 championship seasons. And I mean, can you blame them? Like, they just won 2 championships in a row. But they stuck with their group that they had. They even added a little bit to it. People might recognize the name Noel Anglot. His brother Drew was a Pat for a while. They added him at the deadline, and a couple other pieces, and from there they just went on a winning streak. I don't think they lost more than 2 or 3 games the rest of the year. They pushed themselves into 6th place, and it was, like you said, one of those teams that I don't think anybody wanted to actually play them in round 1. And they're a low event team. They didn't score a ton of goals this year. They won games by suffocating teams and keeping pucks out of their own net. Kaysen Kabelka was a Rookie of the Year candidate in net for them, goaltender. So anyways, very impressive team, and these games were probably going pretty well for them. They outshot Battlefords both nights.
Oh, really?
Which is rare. They're not a team that gets 40 shots a night, but they did both nights, 85 shots in 2 games. Caden Serpa, the Battlefords goaltender, was the performer of the night in our second game there. He made 41 saves. 40 saves both nights, though, for him. And Battlefords is a team that the coach of the year for them, Connor Logan, he won the coach of the year. Rookie coach, won a championship in this league as a 20-year-old back in 2016, I think.
This is his first year head coach?
This is his first year. Wow. He's very impressive. Very, very impressive guy. I've talked to him a few times. He knows what he's doing. He's very prepared, and a lot of coaches around the league too. Very complimentary of him as well. So, very good team. But they had their money was worth, in the first couple of games from Melfort.
So we're shifting back to Melfort, starting tonight.
Yeah.
Northern Lights Palace. Bring your trunks. Melfort could easily win both of these games there then.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. This is a team in Melfort, like I said, very good at home, and obviously the crowd's going to be great there, 2-time defending champions, so the crowd's going to come out well, and they like to control the game. They like to slow it down. They like to play that kind of game. Battlefords is the exact opposite. They're very run and gun, very offensive team, a lot of puck movers on the blue line. So it's kind of a perfect match in terms of how these teams like to play. Battleford's got the upper hand in the first couple, but Melfort very much could come back, and this could be a tied series after tomorrow night.
Flin Flon's leading Estevan 2-0, but Saturday night it goes into double overtime. You stayed up and watched this one. Absolute gut punch for Koch and the boys, because you're going all the way to the Canadian Shield, way up there, and you got a chance to beat the number 1 team, double OT. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Now you got to bring everything all the way back to Estevan. What's that series like so far? Well,
it's one of those things where Flin Flon, you would think be heavily favored coming in as the number 1 team. Estevan, though, was a team that was, Drew had that team. Drew Kosher, head coach, general manager, had that team in the top 3 for like a good chunk of the year. So they're not your typical 8 seed. They're a team that can definitely overperform out by an 8 seed standard. So game 1, though, Flin Flon punched them in the mouth. It was 5-0. They had control pretty much the whole game. And for anybody who knows, the Whitney Forum, if you've been there, if you haven't, it's a bucket list rink to get to. If you
I keep telling the commish I want to go, but he's like, nope, you're not going.
He's not going to pay for your mileage, huh? Hey, Kyle, pay for the mileage? But either way, it's a historic rink. It's very, very hard to play in.
I bet.
I think for a team like Estevan to have to go on the bus all the way up there, then play a number 1 team like Flin Flon in front of that crowd. They step it up in the playoffs. It's crazy up there. It's called the Zoo for a reason. But yeah, Flin Flon punched them in the mouth in game 1, but it woke them up a little bit. Game 2 was very tight. It was, Flin Flon opened the scoring, but then Estevan scored. Flin Flon scored, Estevan scored. It was back and forth. And then it goes into double overtime, of course. And if you watch on our TikTok channel or on our Twitter page or whatever, wherever you can find it, there was actually a chance where the boards in the Whitney Forum are kind of infamous for terrible bounces. Puck goes in, they dump it in. bounces right back out into the middle of the ice. The goaltender, Charlie Tritt, for Flin Flon, goaltender of the year in the league, he goes out into the corner to play it. Puck bounces back out. He's in the corner. He dives from the face-off dot basically to stop it. That would have won the game for Estevan right there. So they were literally inches away from winning that game. And they're very good at home. So switching this series back to Affinity Place in Estevan could be what the doctor ordered. And like I said, they're not a typical 8 seed. So for them to get back home and maybe take advantage of a Flin Flon team who now has to travel 8 hours or 9 hours on a bus, they could definitely do it. I could see it happening.
10 out of 10 little bar perch there in Estevan as well. If you get a little one of those little seats or one of those little,
you got to get there early though.
Lean over.
They
spots.
go quick.
Oh yeah, but then you just try and mooch your way into one of the private boxes. That's a fantastic facility.
I worked there for a couple of years, so very familiar with how nice that rink is. Yeah,
I love it that Melville Yorkton. It's 1-1 as things shift to another nice barn in Melville tonight.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Benny Walchuk. Of course, you mentioned him earlier, but Benny has been doing a great job on that game, or on that call, on that series, also on the SJHL report all year long. So shout out to Benny. He would hurt me if I didn't say something nice to him. So absolutely shout out to Benny. But 2 years in a row now that Highway 10 rivalry gets first round. It's crazy on a normal night on a Tuesday in November between these two teams, but give them a first round matchup and it's been fantastic. And of course, like I said, our league this year has just been so crazy. The number 7 seed, coming in, you wouldn't give them a whole lot of hope necessarily most years. This year is totally different. Melville's a team that very similar to Melfort in a way that they suffocate teams. Doug Johnson's the head coach. He's been in this league for a long time. Suffocate teams, low event, control the puck, and then take advantage of opportunities when you get them. They got some really good offensive players on that team. Boston Harkness was the Saskatchewan Player of the Year this year. He's their captain, defenseman. We'll hopefully have some secondary school news for him coming up soon, commitment. But very impressive, some very impressive pieces on that team. But they are not very much like what Yorkton is. Yorkton is one of the best offensive teams in the league. They won a ton of games in a row this year, just beating teams down offensively. And Melville was able to come in game 1 and win 4-1. So it's a good testament to how close our league is this year.
And contrasting styles, right?
Very contrasting. Very similar to the Melfort-Battleford series in the sense that Battleford's and Yorkton kind of play similarly. Very good puck-moving teams.
I love that. That's almost like
the opposite. The other.
It's almost like international hockey, where you get it's like, the Swiss are going to play totally different than the running guns of maybe a Slovak.
The neutral zone trap or something.
No, and it's. Like that one especially, right? It's just, that's so good for Saski.
Yeah, it's great.
To have the two rivals again. It's not going to be like that every year, obviously.
No, sellouts every night. I was at one of the games last year, and it was fantastic in Yorkton at Westland Arena. The crowds there have been, surging up after the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, they almost lost the team. So since that, there's been a huge push in that community to get out to the rink a whole lot more often, and they've been doing great. But it's that much more when 20 minutes down the road you got 500 people coming too. It goes both ways. They travel great, and it's very competitive.
I love I was in the Yorkton rink this year, and I hadn't been in that rink for 20 some years, and I love all the not memorabilia, but the little write-ups and newspaper articles from all around. It's that was a nice touch. And like the Melfort rink being new.
Both have pools. Yorkton and Melfort both have pools next door.
Yeah. Okay, and then you're going to Weyburn this evening.
Yep.
Nipawin in town. This series is 1-1 deadlocked as well. What were those first two games like?
Well,
5-1.
It was, no, the first one, 4-2. First game 1 was 4-2. Weyburn snuck one out on the road there. And Will Munroe, who, for those who follow, know he was with Melfort last year. I think he had 14 points in the playoffs or something last year. Weyburn picked him up this year, and he's been a huge piece of that team, but he's a playoff beast, and he put up 4 points in game 1.
He's a regular for Fernando Pisani.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a great comparison.
I can't make myself laugh.
Hey, settle down over there. No, but he is a playoff beast, and he showed at game 1. They came out great. It was a very tight game. There was a bit of a controversial call at the end, an icing call that they decided wasn't necessarily icing. Jack Jansen from Nipawin apparently beat it out, but they whistled it anyways. So they put the puck at center ice, which made Nipawin put their goalie back in the net because they pulled their goalie. It's 3-2 with I think it was 53 seconds left or something. So again, they had to put the goalie back in. Puck goes back into Weyburn's end. They pull the goalie again, and almost instantly Weyburn goes down. Will Munroe scored the empty net goal. So kind of a bit of a controversy, but then Nipawin game 2 comes out and they got revenge. They got it in a big way. They controlled that game pretty handily. Gage Roberts for Nipawin, fantastic goaltender. He played very well, but that offensive, they are a lot of firepower offensively on that Nipawin team, and they all kind of just clicked in game 2. So 5-1 win for them. So it's going to be a really great game in Weyburn tonight because they both got a taste of it, and now it's going to be like who can get that edge in game 3.
Nipawin, for, correct me if I'm wrong, at least a couple of years, they were kind of down, rebuilding this whole thing, weren't they?
Yeah, that's it's kind of a huge storyline actually this year. They only made the playoffs once in the last 4 years, and it was a couple of years ago right after COVID. And they were like 7th or 8th place, so they just got in that year. So it's been a while. Nipawin, of course, they won the championship back in the 2018 season with the Humboldt bus crash. They won that championship. But since then, they've kind of been on the downswing. So this is a big year for them. They brought back, I'm going to say 85% of their roster from last year, which very young team last year. They kind of took their lumps. But this year brought back a lot of those guys, a lot of Saskatchewan boys. And then they added to it this year as well. They brought back Braden Jockums, who's, I think he got over a point per game since joining the team. He was kind of down south. Came back. He was a Nipawin Hawk when he was 17.
Oh, wow.
Tried out the WHL with Portland, and then he went down to the North American League. Came back for his 20-year-old year to finish things off.
Oh, yeah.
I think he has 31 points in 23 regular season games since joining the team. Great goal scorer. They added Brendan Olson from Melville this year. So, again, they had a strong forward group going into the year. They added to it. They knew what their strength was. They have great goaltending. So that's a team that a ton of offensive firepower. Yeah, Weyburn's very similar too. Honestly, that's why it's such a great series because they really match up perfectly.
I've spent a lot of time in the Weyburn rink in the last month here with both kids. Yep. I want to see it full, and then I want to see what they do on the bench seating where they have the numbers and each slot is about that wide. Like. You gotta be a jockey.
Yeah, I try to get some standing room spots when I'm there.
Great barn.
I barely fit in most rinks as it is. I'm a bigger guy, so it's a great rink. Yeah, I'm a former Estevan Bruins employee, right? Yeah. So had a lot of, I'll say, hatred for that rink over the years, but coming now as a neutral, it's been great to kind of get back into that rink and check it out.
Clark Munroe is joining us here, does the SJHL show. Now, also, you wanted to talk some Western Canadian Baseball League news. Yeah. So the interesting game coming up.
Yeah, definitely. In my role, I kind of double as the SJHL guy during hockey season, and then last summer we picked up the WCBL contract as well at IKS Media. So shout out to IKS Media if I can.
Yeah, for sure. Doing good stuff over there.
But we picked up the WCBL last year, and it was really fun just kind of diving back into it. I've had a lot of connections to the WCBL over the years. I'm a baseball player by trade. So get back into it, talk about it all season. The Red Sox go on that magical late season run after they kind of lost all their players. Just a lot of drama there. But they picked up a few guys, and they went on that big run, and it was awesome. So huge shout out there. But this year we're back. We just got our contract kind of on the go here, figuring that out. And just on Monday, they made the announcement that Carnduff, Saskatchewan, is going to be getting the Rural Roots Classic this year. Last year it was in Oyen, Alberta, which is kind of by Lloydminster there. This year now it's in Carnduff. And it's in Carnduff because Carter Beck is on the Saskatoon Berries, of course. And the Berries are going to be involved in the game. And so it's going to be the Berries versus Weyburn, the Weyburn Beavers in Carnduff. Yeah, home of the Astros, Carnduff Astros. So yeah, it's going to be.
What's the date on that? Do they have it yet?
May 29th. I think it's a Friday, and it's like a baseball weekend in Carnduff kind of thing. So they're setting it up. That's going to kick off the weekend, and then it's like minor baseball day the next day. So it's going to be a great showing. It's going to be like a 4:30 game. So it's going to go into the twilight hours.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah. It's going to be fun. And they have a great facility there.
Beer gardens will be humming.
Oh, it's going to be humming. Yeah, it's going to be. Southeast Saskatchewan's going to come out big for that.
Yeah, that sounds.
Especially with Carter Beck, if you know the lore there. Div 1 baseball player from Carnduff. And, it's funny, the Weyburn Beavers in the announcement kind of said, like, if any baseball players coming up in Carnduff want to play. They're going to be Beavers coming up, because of course Carter Beck is with Saskatoon, so there's a bit of drama there too. But it's great to see that he's back and he's a big part of the league, and it's going to be an exciting game in Carter.
Jeez,
And the Saskatoon Berries have the WCBL All-Star game this year too.
Yeah.
So the Berries are going to be involved in 2 pretty big events. I guess the Berries not directly, but they're hosting it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great time.
Just like that, man. We killed like 20 minutes chatting. This could go on for a while. Thanks for coming in.
For sure.
And doing this. And then you're heading to Weyburn.
Yeah, me and Jamie Neugebauer hitting the road in 45 minutes to an hour here. So
keep watch out on the speedometer.
Yeah.
You know that highway well, though.
Yeah, the one that goes through. Yeah, I've been caught on there actually before, so you got to be careful over there.
It's sneaky. It's sneaky. Clark Munroe with the SJHL, IKS Media, little Western Canada Baseball League as well. Joining us here on the Sports Cage. We'll go to break. We'll come back with the ticker. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. All right, like we talked about, playoff hockey, SJHL in Melville. Yorkton's in town. Tied 1-1, 7 p.m. puck drop. Down the road in Weyburn, 7 p.m. Hawks and Red Wings tied 1-1. In Melfort, 7:30 start. The Battlefords taking their 2-0 lead in there, and Flin Flon leading 2-0 in Estevan. 7 p.m. puck drop. National Hockey League. All Canadian teams skating tonight. Toronto's in Boston. Montreal home to Carolina. Ottawa's at Detroit. Winnipeg playing host to the Golden Knights. Flames welcome Los Angeles. Edmonton travels to Utah. And Vancouver home to Anaheim. It's for Reliance. Switch to Reliance today. Get $200 back on your new water heater. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. 1 hour in the books. Is that it, Colson? Ticker's not really rocking and rolling there. So, all right, coming back. We are Mason Nyhus is still in his meeting, so we're gonna just push Mason back a bit. Former Canadian flag football quarterback. We'll start it with Arash Madani. He wants to talk Blue Jays and CFL. It's a Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries. We'll be back after the news. Welcome back. Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. We're an hour in. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I think. It's good news. If you're just tuning in, man, cold season. Roll your eyes. I know. Man, it's been 2 days. It's not often you get a cold and feel bad for 2 days. And I know some of you have texted in, Prairie Land Rentals text line, about the sea back in COVID. I don't know. It's one thing my wife said, maybe you got COVID. I said, maybe. I don't know. Still have to taste is still there. Kind of back with the appetite. It's going around though, and there's been a few texts like Steve and Lucky said it's going around schools, work, places. So you know what I'm talking about. And when I cough, it hurts. So painful because I got a massage for some stupid reason. And she massaged my ribs. So now every time I cough, it feels like I'm getting hit by a 2x4. Like the end with the pointy part. Clark Munroe, that was a nice chat. SJHL in and around Saskatchewan. The Western Hockey League playoffs, as we await Arash Madani to come on, those start on Friday. And I think we have a graphic. I think we have the brackets for do we have the brackets for the Western Hockey League? If anyone, 936-6262, if you want to be crazy here, and then you can go back, we'll keep receipts. What are we thinking for possibility of upsets? Like that, Pats fans, I think you wanted to play Prince Albert more than Medicine Hat. So Medicine Hat outscored them, what was it, 17-1? 17-2 in the last two games. Hoping to be joined by Brad Haroff tomorrow on the show. So we got to say the Tigers there. Prince Albert, Red Deer. Wasn't it Red Deer that just went into Prince Albert like last 2 weeks ago and somehow, some way, thanks to a hot goaltender, beat them? I'm not crazy, right? That was Red Deer. And I was like, how the heck did Prince Albert up gallivanting all night? The mean streets of PA, maybe. Fell asleep on that one. Edmonton and the Saskatoon Blades. This is the one, and I think Lester Polyester, Les Lazaruk, is going to join us on Friday, the absolute beauty from Saskatoon. We'll talk all things Western Hockey League, but I want to talk about this series. This is the one that I've watched Edmonton play this year, and they looked really good, but then they've also looked suspect. The Blades, I've only watched with my eyeballs once. I think that's a series. That's a tough one. And then, as it should be, the 4-5 will be good. Brandon and Calgary. Brandon is a little bit beat up. They pulled out those 2 wins over the Pats on the weekend. And the Pats just needed points. And they couldn't get it done. So yeah, it's going to be tough for the Pats. It's going to be tough for the Rebels taking on those 2 juggernauts. The other ones, your guess is as good as mine. The Rochdale Rocket is saying, yeah, I just looked it up too, just out of curiosity, in that Manitoba Midget AAA series, the Winnipeg Bruins are up on the Brandon Wheat Kings 2-0. Winnipeg has won both games 4-2, 4-2. Benny actually gave us a bit of a rundown here, and he could be just making stuff up. He could be bellied up to a bar on Rochdale, just texting away. He said Winnipeg Bruins are a powerhouse from southeast Winnipeg, St. Vital, Transcona. Went to a nice bar around St. Vital once. There's live music. What the heck was it called? It's pretty good. They play fast and heavy. And the coach is a beauty. They're coached by Larry Wu. Yeah, I've heard of that name. A lot of you have heard of that name out there. So could be the Winnipeg Bruins rolling in to regionals here in Regina, starting. It's a long weekend. Moose Jaw and the Pat Seas will be there. It looks like Winnipeg, and then there's always the Northern Ontario team comes and just gets mollywopped.
Yeah. Red Deer's beaten PA the last 2 times actually they faced.
Really?
Yeah, Red Deer beat them 4-3 in the Art Hauser. And then I think it was about a week later, beat them 3-1 at home. Just for comparison, Red Deer's lost to Medicine Hat the last 3 times they played. Med Hat won 8-4 and then 9-3 and then 8-3. So just because we've had bad showings against Medicine Hat, so have they. But we've had good showings against PA, so have they. In the last little while here. Yeah,
I think PA was a short end, or Medicine Hat was definitely the short end of the stick, and having to match up with those guys for sure. Is anybody else going to be watching tonight the TGL? Tiger Woods swinging the wrenches, playing golf, hitting into a screen, mind you, but it sounds like he could be gearing up for the Masters and playing in the Masters. I just don't want it to be, and if you're a golf fan, even borderline Tiger fan, you don't want him to start playing and then he walks awkwardly and then something tweaks and then it's like, oh, here we go again. The cart goes and picks him up. He's done. Tiger's out. Like, getting through 4 rounds in those hills of Augusta, again, I've never been there, but I see it on TV. That will be a battle. Hard on the walk, and the lumbar, and the plantar fasciitis, and everything else, all the other ailments out there. Tiger's in good shape, but that body's been, and all the surgeries and this and that and the other. But yeah, I'm excited to watch him play tonight. We'll get to sprinkle of the day later. I don't think Sports Select has odds on TGL, so I don't think we can go to that. Arash is there? Ooh, let's go talk to Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Man cold guy over here. I know. Roscoe from Kindersley just sent a text in on the Prairie Line Rentals text line. Barney, you should go try some garlic. I don't have the Kavorka. I'm just sick. I don't want. We were walking around smelling like garlic. And so that was my youth. My parents made head cheese in the house, and all my jackets, and I'd go to school. Everything stunk. I was like, "Oh, there's the weird kid. It smells like garlic."
Some things don't change. I was listening to your Tiger thing. It's funny. I was having the exact same conversation with somebody today. If you were to set an over-under for number of holes played by Eldrick Woods at Augusta National this year, I would put the number at 27.5. He gets through the first round, and at the turn of the second, pulls the shoot.
I'd take the over.
Well, you would.
Yeah. I think somehow, some way, he'll try and gut it out.
Yeah.
Hammer the body full of painkillers, drugs. Do you just get through it? Have you ever been there?
I have, twice. It is so hilly.
Yeah, like it looks like an absolute grind.
Yeah, it's so pristine, but man, don't get it twisted. That thing is up and down and all around. It is, which makes it impressive that a guy like Mickelson, back in his hefty days, was able to, there's that man cold, was able to win that thing. I just wonder about Tiger, Barney. Like, what does that body just have left? Like, it's back and it's Achilles, and he swung it so violently for so long. I get you want to play, I do, but at what cost?
Well, I don't. What is he? 50?
Yeah, that sounds about 50, right.
You know, and we look at like 50, we've talked about this a lot too, 50 in 2026 isn't 50 in 1988. Like, you look at some of the actors that this pops up on my algorithm once I'm getting hit with, like, what's her name from the Golden Girls? It was actually only 48, and it's like, what? She looks 75. It's just, they're different, and he is in such good shape. But taxing, and it seems like any little thing could set it off.
So I've probably said this, I've said this on the show a couple of times over the years, but I remember Mark Schlereth, the former NFL offensive lineman. In his career, he had 13 knee surgeries and 1 back surgery. And Schlereth's point was, I'd rather have 26 knee surgeries than go through a back surgery. And then you think about Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors coach. He almost died in the after effects of back surgery. I think Tigers had 3 or 4 back surgeries alone. It's like that body has just been battered over the years. And
So when you talk about being there and Phil, pre-Ozempic Phil, but you look at some of those guys that used to hoof around it, Craig Stadler,
there you go.
those bodies up and down and around, ripping darts on it as well. But Like you look at a guy like Fred Couples, and it seems like it was a couple of years ago. It was more than that. It was a few where he was in the hunt. It's like, how is Freddie doing it? Because once you've won it, you can go back forever, and just roll. So that's the thing too. And I brought this up in hour one, is when we used to watch the Masters, I feel in that 90s or the early 2000s, I feel that now there's just so many cameras and the cameras are so good and the high def is so good, you really get an idea of the terrain. Where back in the day, right? Like there was the odd hole to be like, oh, that looks like it's a little bit downhill, that shot. Now they show the guy teeing off and going back and it's like, well, that guy looks like he's up there at Crazy Horse.
Yeah, there's no question. And the thing about Couples is he always starts on fire.
Yeah.
And then towards the tail end of the second round is when he just really starts to kind of fall off the cliff and drag. And then sometimes he doesn't even make the cut after being in the top 10 the first round.
For a roughly 4.5 mile hoof.
Oof.
To get around. Do you want to hear here, I'll look this up here. And this one. And I've walked it. It's extremely hard. I want to say it's 7 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
Bethpage Black, 6 mile walk. Did it in back-to-back days. My buddy who doesn't walk golf courses, we show up and he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, remember I told you, like, there's no carts, man. Like, not even like
really?
medical exemption
you can't even
carts.
If you wanted to.
Not on the black course. No. Like over in Scotland, They'll give you medical exemption. You know, guys play the game over there. And I was like, no, we got to walk. And he's a bigger guy. And so we walk the first day with caddies. And his shoes are just, he's like, whoa. So after the round, I expect him to just bail the next day. We go back, this hotel in Long Island. It was awesome. Have a hot tub and some cocktails. And I'm like, well, I'm back out there tomorrow, 7 mile walk. And he's like, yep, but I need new shoes. And I'm like, what? You're coming? He's like, oh, yeah. So he goes and buys brand new shoes in the pro shop and then hoofs it for another 7 miles with me the next day. And he never walks a golf course. And I was like, man, you should be up for Citizen of the Year or something for pulling that off. But, okay, golf aside, baseball. It's, you know me. Edge of my seat.
Mr. Baseball.
Especially the first 40 games, I am just riveted. Blue Jays home opener coming up from Game 7 of the World Series. We are starting all over again. Expectations for this team.
I think, Barney, like I really believe this. They're higher than they've ever been. And part of it is because they got to Game 7, but the other is because they kind of got everybody awake again. You know, there are people in Regina glued to the Blue Jays for much of the month of October, but especially the last week, every day of October. So now everybody expects this to like take off again. So I just can't remember a time where expectations have been higher for this team.
I know I talk and hearing people talk. Focus on Vladdy, a lot of people. Face of the franchise?
Oh, yeah. No question. You know, Bo's gone. It's Vlad's team now. You know, of that, there's no doubt.
What expectations for him this year?
Well, I think there are a lot of people who believe he should be in the AL MVP running. You know, like this is the person who's going to have to carry this team. And you think about what he's been for this franchise over the years and everything he's done and all those kinds of things. This is going to be Vladimir Guerrero time again. And can he do it? And he's never shied away from it. He's always stepped up in this moment. Can he now do it? That becomes the question. And He's got all the tools. He's got the swag. He's got the personality. He's got the bat. He's got the defense. He's a Gold Glover. He checks off so many of those boxes for them.
I didn't know a lot about George Springer before last year's playoffs, and then I was like, oh yeah, Houston, yeah, that all makes sense.
Right, World Series champ, World Series MVP there.
Yeah, banging the things, and I love that story, to be honest. But hits the home run, gets the Jays to the World Series. What are the expectations for George Springer this year?
Well, the question is, can they keep him healthy? Like, he was basically in bubble wrap for September and October, and here he is, almost 10 years after winning World Series MVP. Can Springer stay healthy? For much of the year, he was dealing with something. He had a knee issue through the entire postseason. How many effective games can George Springer give them? That becomes the question. If Springer can be an effective piece for them, Barney, that is going to be absolutely massive, and he can be the anchor of that entire outfield for them. He can be the one who's going to step up and make massive hits like he did in Game 7 of the ALCS last year. But he's got to stay healthy, and the question becomes, can he stay healthy?
How old is he?
I believe Springer turns 37 this year, I believe.
He's getting up there. But
yeah. Aren't we all?
And Tiger. Any warning signs as we get set to kick it off?
Well, we talked about some pitching injuries last week, and then over the weekend, the Trey Savage thing broke. And remember what like a unicorn revelation he turned out to be in the playoffs? The young kid went through whatever it was, 4 or 5 levels of the majors on his way to pitching. And now they're calling it a shoulder impingement, whatever that is, that he hasn't been able to ramp up his pitching at all. They say it's behind him now, but will this be kind of an ongoing thing that they have to monitor? That's a big one, because you're already, Jose Barrios is out. Now Savage is out. They have another member of their starting rotation, Shane Bieber, with a lot of question marks because he hasn't played a full season in a long time. So suddenly they went from that position being one of depth to that no longer, they're one injury away from starting pitching to being like, whoa, what do we do now? Which is wild to think about.
I know it's probably not going to happen, but part of me is when Blue Jays home opener, which is on Friday. If the wall and the left field is still the same, or have they done? Because the odds of that happening again are like winning the lottery. But just in case, have they done anything there?
Is that going up in the Dodgers Wall of Fame? Like, if they take that, if they remove that wall,
Yes.
Are they going to take a chunk of that and put it in Dodger Stadium next to some statues and next to some plaques? That I wonder about too.
They should even make a mock of it somehow and put it up somewhere. Just a ball stuck underneath. It's still, when I think about that run and how it just kind of captivated all of us and everything, and then I'm like, and the ball got stuck there?
It was so surreal.
What?
And then the next night, Game 7,
Yeah.
lead 3-0, and then 3-1, and then Jeff Hoffman gives it up to Miggy Rojas. Like, it's, a lot of the guys, there's a lot of reports coming out of spring, like, features about it all, and they're just like, we're just not over it. That is another thing. Like, at some point as a team, you got to turn the page. And the question is, how will the Jays as a team turn the page?
Is that so hard in baseball because it is just such a long season? Do you think it's maybe harder than any other sport? I don't know. It's hard. Like Connor McDavid, after getting so close twice, looks like he's aged. Like, he looks like he could be 50 years old soon. Is it because baseball is just so long?
That could be part of it. The off season becomes so much shorter as a result of it. But ultimately, like, this would have been if McDavid blew a 3-0 Game 7 lead. This would have been if McDavid McDavid and the Oilers led by 3 goals, and you're up 3-2, you're coming home, you got a 2 or 3 goal lead in Game 6, and then you got a 3 goal lead in Game 7, and you don't finish. And like this momentum had just built and built and built, and in your heart of hearts, you really felt you were the better team. That's hard, man. That's hard. And then it just ends abruptly. Like, you're going 100 miles an hour every single day through the postseason, and then bam, you hit that concrete wall. It's wild how it works.
Not to detract from the championship talk here, but while we were talking Dodgers, did you guys hear about the naming rights for Dodger Stadium?
I saw there were some naming rights, but they want to keep it Dodger Stadium. What's the deal there, Cole?
So it's going to be Uniqlo Field.
Excuse me?
Dodger Stadium. Uniqlo.
What's that? An AI company or something?
No, it's a clothing brand.
Apparel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a clothing brand. But still, like you, I've never heard of this. And I have 2 feelings on this. Of one, a brand that I've never heard of getting the naming rights for a stadium I don't love. That's just me because I don't recognize it, right? It's like Staples Center, that that one, right? And I know it's not that anymore. And then 2, I really do like stadiums that are Dodger Stadium, right? Like it's not attached to anything. Now, I say that as we have Mosaic Stadium. Of course, it was Taylor Field at Mosaic Stadium.
And Colson's never worked on commission.
Yeah,
he's never
also
sold anything.
And I understand the Dodgers have a lot to pay out over the next few years, so I understand this side of it too. But I'm like, I don't know.
The Bugle Boy Center, the Mondetta Place. There's some clothing brands I can get behind.
Well,
there you go.
The funniest one was Buffalo, because for the longest time it was Ralph Wilson Stadium. Because you look at the organizational flow chart, the owner is Ralph Wilson, right? And then the moment that franchise sold, it had itself a corporate naming right on it.
Oh, is that what happened? Because I've often thought about that, and it was when it was sold that they just cashed out. They sold out. Being a sellout. That's what life's all about. Just got to pick when. Go to the most lucrative time to be a sellout.
Pick when and how much.
Okay, some CFL. You said you had a chance to watch my chat, me and the professor and I, with Trevor Harris the other day. Great interview if anyone wants to go back and listen to it. What were your takeaways from that?
First of all, just how engaged and dialed in he was to the conversation. I appreciated that. Well, I know. Don did a great job.
Don't make me laugh. It hurts.
Number 2, like we just talked about the heartbreak of the Jays, and John Schneider's replayed that 1,000 times in his head, he said. Trevor went back and watched the game once. I thought that was so interesting. So often people want to revel in it. And I guess this is the difference, Barney, between the elite, between the champions, between the greats, and everybody else. For Trevor was, okay, watch the game. Now let's go watch some film on our West Division opponents in December and January. I just thought that just provided great insight into what makes this dude click.
And he looked fit.
Did he ever?
Very fit. CFL Combine is here. It's this week in Edmonton. We do have interview coming up with Regina's Carson Sombach a little later. You've been to this thing. What are the major things for you, the CFL Combine?
Well, I call them the underwear Olympics because, you have to come in, you got to lift and you got to jump and you got to run and you got to do all these drills, which I'm like, okay, cool. But running in a straight line, jumping up and down, lifting under the bar. Why aren't we doing more football activities? And this isn't just the CFL, like the NFL's the same.
Yep.
The other thing is they do these so the CFL Combine, there's no Americans coming to the CFL Combine. It's Canadians, it's globals. And they put these kids through the ringer of all these different questions and want to like get gotcha answers out of them and catch them off guard and really like grill them. And they're doing these to the Canadian kids thinking they're going to find out a whole lot about them, even though they really aren't. And yet the Americans just get a pass. They just, okay, well, looks like you can play based on what we see on tape and what one scout put on paper to put you on our neg list. And the Americans don't go through it. Like, it's always been puzzling to me.
Why? Is it an expense thing maybe, or are they paying for their own way anyway?
Yeah, it's a good question. Why? Like, there's never even really a conversation that has some of those questions being asked. So it's a very good question. Next time you have O'Day on, that might be a great question for him.
All right. Can I leave you with on this day in music history? I know you like these.
I know I do. You always get me.
On this day, 1992, a Chicago court settled the Milli Vanilli class action suit by approving cash rebates of up to $3 to anyone proving they bought the group's music before November 27th, 1990, the date the lip-syncing scandal broke.
Blame it on the rain, man.
$3.
Blame it on the stars.
They shine at night.
They shine at night, yeah.
Whatever you do.
Don't put the blame on you. What?
Hey, but there's...
Boss, we were going to sell naming rights, but Colson told me we couldn't.
We can't play the music, but that doesn't mean we can't recite it.
That's right.
There's what's the one that's the guy that's still alive for Milli Vanilli? I sent actually Colson. We can't play it because make it flagged. The hold on, let me look. Anyways, Fab.
Baby,
no, Rob.
Don't forget my number. Don't forget that one.
Yeah. Girl, I'm gonna miss you. That song is scarred after that Menendez Brothers thing that I watched. Girl, you know it's true. Yeah. So, but I think it's Rob who's still alive, because wasn't it Fab who passed away? But Rob's out there singing and playing, like he's doing concerts, and he's like, "Damn it, I'm going to prove that I can sing," and he's actually not that bad, and he's doing what he does. And there's a video I saw it, and he's up, and I think he was doing "Blame It on the Rain." Yeah. It was a great album. I don't care who was singing it. It was a great album. Yeah, really bassy.
Cassette. Are you gonna sit and tell Colson about the cassette tapes next? Because that's how I had.
I know
Blame
what
It on the Rain.
Tapes are. I listened.
Yeah, but did you ever record the top 6 at 6 on a cassette tape and have to hit it right when the DJ was done talking?
No, I didn't do that.
That was a skill. And then some of your rich friends would have the 2 tape player ghetto blasters, and then you'd go over there and be like, "Oh, I can't believe my mom, we went to Kresge's and I got all these blank tapes, and then I'm gonna record all my buddies' music." And then whatever, I was poor, but I said I had music. And Walkman, batteries, man. Imagine how much money we spent on batteries back in the day.
Just ate them alive.
Discman, nothing worse than being on a long bus trip for a sport and you're out of batteries and no one else wants to lend you any.
And then it would just slow down.
Yeah. The struggle was real. Man.
Kids these days have no idea.
We lived through it. I'd go back there in a heartbeat if I could, though. The way everything else is going down.
Sure.
Take me back to the batteries. I'll gladly spend hundreds of dollars a year on batteries.
No question.
And Buffalo jeans. And chip and pepper. All right, bud. Let's regroup on Thursday. Right. Went off the rails a bit. Good. That's what it's all about.
You got it.
See you later.
Right. See you, bud.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Brian Gawley, Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. call Brian Golly. I see what you're doing there, Jeffrey. Little Jordache jeans. Never had Jordache. I was going to say, never had them. We're hoping still for, at some point, when he's done his meeting, we're going to talk to Mason Nyhus about the flag football game. That was on Saturday. We'll go to break. We'll come back. Clutch Performer. We got winning. We're playing for $100 today. Pump Jacks Cathedral Trivia. So get ready for that. And I love some of these text messages coming in. We'll read them. We'll be back in a moment. Okay. Last night, we had him on the show earlier. I think we're going to rerun that in hour 3. Young Liam Pugh, overtime winner for the Pat Seas in Moose Jaw.
Now here's Gardner. Up to Pugh. Pugh cuts to the middle. Shoots and scores. Liam Pugh is going to get the overtime winner. Outweight Stephen Walrick. And the Warriors are going to fall in overtime for the second consecutive game. And the Regina Pat Canadians are going to go up 2-0 in this series and have a chance to win the provincial championship on Wednesday night.
Just
in the Queen City. The Warriors had a chance the other way.
Do you have one?
I have a couple here.
Ooh, let's go.
You know how I am with last names, so I'll just throw up the image here. But played his thousandth
Mika Zibanejad.
Yeah, and as luck would have it, it was against Ottawa, team he started with.
Oh, I totally forgot that he started with Ottawa.
Yeah, so I was like, that's a nice full circle moment. But 1,000th NHL game, like 1,000th game in any sport, great, but especially in a physical one like hockey, that's a great one. And then
I know a guy that played 1,000 games in the Adult Safe Hockey League.
That's still impressive,
a little while
right?
ago. Kurt Kinischuk. Yeah. It was up there. I don't know if it was 1,000. It was close.
And then we just talked with the Arash opening days coming up, so spring training's wrapping up. And the Texas Rangers, they had a mound visit for Carter Balmer, I believe it is. And I don't know if you can tell, but the guys start congratulating him. He's got a big smile on here. And the coach came in and told him, hey, you're starting opening day.
Oh.
In the mound visit. I'm like, that's awesome.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, so.
Gotta love it.
There's my couple of performers.
Nico7 Cat on the text line, YouTube chat, Prairieland Rental Style. How do you pronounce that clothing? Uniqlo?
Uniqlo.
Uniqlo?
Uniqlo.
Oh, there's an L there.
Yeah.
Uniqlo is a Japanese clothing store. They're all over the place in Japan.
That makes sense then that the Dodgers would want to go in that direction.
And they would shell out. I bet you they're selling a lot of garments.
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to go to Japan. Have I told you that? My wife has no desire to go to Japan.
Fair enough. I think because when Eric was wrapping up last year, his segments, he was going there and you guys had a long chat about it. Yeah. I think we spent 20 minutes talking about Japan and 2 talking about hockey. That's what happens.
Classic Eric. All right, that was Clutch Performer for our friends at Kelton Solar in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. If you're thinking solar, maybe getting a price quote to get some solar panels up on your shop, building, whatever, farm, home, they can help you. Locally owned and operated in Lumsden, Saskatchewan. Kelton Solar, call them. They'll come out for a quote. Oh, cheers from Japan. Actually listening from Japan.
There we go.
Whereabouts? And can you email me some good golf tours that you would recommend in Japan? Thanks for listening over there in Japan. Sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. Just do it online if you want. Get a QR code. Go to the Lotto Spot retailer. Scan away, and there you go. You got your ticket. Every bet 100% legal with a chance of winning cash in hand. Okay, I want to go Vegas Golden Knights, Winnipeg Jets tonight. Sports Select. You can play it by itself. You can play it standalone if you want. Guess what I like, Coulson? Because I always say
the tie.
I like the tie. Paying $350 on the pro line that this game is going to overtime. Benny's probably listening and rolling his eyes. Benny sent me a picture of a Sports Select ticket from the weekend. Whew, I think it was Benny. one of the listeners. It was solid parlay work. But I like the tie for some reason. Vegas and Winnipeg. The over-under's 5.5. 2. I guess goaltending. And then while we're at it, we'll look at the Los Angeles Kings Calgary Flames game. In Calgary, we'll have Eric Francis on tomorrow. We'll chat about this. Oh, do I parlay it with 2 ties? Does a guy get crazy? Calgary's playing good hockey right now. I'm going to go Calgary with the half goal. No, screw it. I'm going to go take the tie. 2 ties. Why wouldn't a guy? SportsSelect.com. Here it says, if you're watching the stream, it says generate code. That's how easy it is now. Generate a QR code, scan it at your Lotto Spot retailer. If you want to go and fill it out the old way, which it's very nostalgic for some of us, you can do that as well. Must be 18 plus to play. Like I said, every bet is 100% legal. A chance of winning cash in hand when you're ready to play. Bet on the original. Play responsibly. We're going to go to break. We come back. Mason Nyhus, former quarterback of Canada's men's flag football team, will join us. It's the Sports Cage on the home of local sports, 620 CKRM. All right, let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect night for a wheel or any of the Greek favorites you love. Visit your local Western Pizza. Joining us, Mason Nyhus, former quarterback for Canada's men's flag football team. Mason, thanks so much for making some time today. I know you're busy cruising around the province. You had a chance to watch things on Saturday?
I did, yeah. Thanks for having me, Barney, first and foremost, on the old recruiting trail here. But, yeah, no, I watched the games. I was actually in Winnipeg. I asked Charlie Ringland, and we were watching all the games together. Yeah, it was pretty entertaining, I would say. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, entertaining, I guess, could be one way to put it. I thought of it last week, and I said it, and I don't want to be that I told you so guy, but I told people, I'm like, I think the Americans are absolutely going to dust the NFL players just from coaching, playing a bit, watching you guys play when you guys were over in Finland in the World Champions and stuff, Mason. Because the one thing that a lot of people that haven't watched it, they got a sense of how different of a game it is.
You know what? It's one of those things where
he's cutting out.
When you're running routes, but the schematics of the game is completely different. I mean, we went out there, even before Finland, we had to win nationals to become Team Canada for that event. And, man, there was other teams that are way more athletic than us, per se. But we have a good flag scheme. We know what we're doing. I mean, that's what wins flag football games. And obviously, you look at Team USA flag, they have a bunch of skinny dudes that if they got tackled by Luke Kuechly in real life would probably break in half. But unfortunately, it's not that game for Luke Kuechly, right? It's a flag game, it's a speed game. So it's a different type of athlete. And, I mean, even in Saskatoon, I'm sure in Regina as well, flag football, it's typically the older cats who are winning with a good team and all that. I mean, we have teams in Saskatoon with some of the best young athletes in Western. Old-timers like myself are running it up on them. So
we're getting connection issues here, unfortunately, with your phone. Maybe I'll ask one more thing though, Mason, on it. When it looked like they had problems all over the board. And the one thing is Greg Olson kept saying is, Sean Payton's been studying and scouting and Shanahan and all. I'm like, well, did they? Because if you watched any flag football for even a half hour, you would see that how you're going to have to try and game plan it. The one thing I was talking to my wife about it is, it is so hard to stop teams. So defensively, yes, you're trying and you put your resources into defense and having schemes and switches and different there. But one of the things in flag, you got to score. You almost have to score every time you have the ball.
For sure. Sorry about the connection issues there, Barney. Yeah, it's an offensive game. Like, if your defense gets you 2 stops in flag football, you should win the football game in theory. So, I mean, Kyle Shanahan's my absolute boy, so I'm not gonna. I'm a big Niners fan, so I don't want to, rain on his parade. But I mean, just watching it and being a guy that really loves the game of flag football, like if you're watching it, I think they took 10 to 15 rusher interference penalties where it's just like those are backbreakers. Penalties in flag football kill you. And those are just unnecessary ones. I mean, even when they're going double quarterback, they'll throw it back, and the second quarterback, like Team USA was just rushing one sometimes, and the second quarterback just like naturally runs forward to become a receiver. Where if you're a flag guy, if they're going to rush one, you keep 2 quarterbacks back there and play monkey in the middle, and then you throw it downfield. So, yeah, just some stuff that, like, clearly they don't know flag, which is fine, right? But you know what? I'm sure with those type of athletes, like the Jamar Cases, if you get those guys out there, with a couple of weeks of practice, they'd be pretty damn impressive and hard to beat. But yeah, they would just need to learn the game more and adjust accordingly.
Honest question. Did it get the juices flowing? Did you start thinking? I know you're so tied in with the U of S, but were you like, man, I would love to make a run at this?
It would be fun. I mean, it makes you think about stuff for sure. It's hard, yeah. Like, everyone's competitive and you love playing, so it's like, yeah, definitely. I'm even just sitting there with Charlie, and this is gonna sound hyperbolic a little bit. But the guy, like, I genuinely think our Canada team out there would have been very good. Yeah. Like, it's just one of those things. And I understand, too, it's not like they have NFL players, but at the same time, it's like Logan Paul's out there, too. And you have some stuff like that, which is just like, that's not going to get the job done. I'm sure he's a good athlete, but it's a little different. But, yeah, like, even so, if I'm making an NFL team, or NFL players to go compete in flag football, I mean, Joe Burrow is unbelievable, obviously. These are world-class talents. But, like, Dayton Daniels is out there. He'd be a guy. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray are, like, the first ones that come to mind. Guys that can sling it but are just absolutely elusive and nightmares in the open field. So that's who I'd be going with. But, yeah, it definitely gets your juices flowing. It's like, hey, if I was out there with a couple of the boys, like Mitch Hillis and Saskatoon, we would give these guys a good run. So, yeah, it was cool watching it from that lens.
I think you guys would. Okay, a couple more quick ones since the connection is good here. I want to ask you, because my wife was asking that we were talking about it. And I remember, I don't know if it was Italy or maybe it was, I watched Italy play the USA. The USA does run a lot of that option 2 QB stuff. What teams don't run a lot of that?
I think it's going to become more and more, almost every team will, just because of like how global the sport's getting, and it's getting a lot more competitive with the Olympics coming up. When we were at Worlds, truthfully, Team USA did a ton of it. We do a bit of it. It really depends on the roster size and who you have, like how good is your second quarterback and how often you want to be in it. But most countries there were traditional one quarterbacks, like Italy, Germany, Austria, the other main countries there, they were all one quarterback system. Mexico is a big, like, 2 or 3 quarterback team. They are very big on it. But those are the 2 teams that really run a ton of it. If you ever, any listener out there, if you want to see some creative flag football, Japan's women's flag football team is an absolute blast to watch. They're so creative. It's really cool. So that's a great option, flag football. If you ever want to watch it.
That's funny because I was watching women's flag football last year just on YouTube highlights, and I got like 2 plays from it. I don't know if it was Japan, but I was like, I can't believe what I just saw. I'm putting that in the playbook right there.
There you go.
Well, thanks for doing this, man, and shedding some light on it. And I know, like I said, you're busy, and really appreciate you taking some time.
Oh, of course, Barney. Anytime. I appreciate you having me on.
Right on. Mason Nyhus from the U of S Huskies coaching staff now, but former quarterback for Canada's men's national team. Go on YouTube and you can watch when Mason quarterbacked a couple of years ago when they were in Finland and they battled. It was awesome. I loved it, right? And everyone kind of got to see. And I know some people, it was like, that's not for me. I don't like it. That's fine. So, I thought it was exceptional. I was so curious on going into it. Glen Suitor is going to want to talk more about that in hour 3. It is the Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. SJHL playoffs continue tonight in Melville. Yorkton's in town. That series tied 1-1, 7 p.m. puck drop. We have in Weyburn, 7 p.m. as well. Nipperwood and Weyburn tied 1-1. Estevan welcomes Flin Flon. The Bombers up 2-0 there, 7 p.m. puck drop. 7:30 start in Melford. Mustangs hosting Battleford. The Stars lead 2-0. National Hockey League, all Canadian teams skating tonight. The important ones, Montreal home to Carolina. Ottawa's at the Detroit Red Wings. Winnipeg welcomes the Vegas Golden Knights. Flames host Los Angeles. Edmonton's in Utah. Vancouver welcomes Anaheim. The Leafs are in Boston. They also have baseball, ball equipment, Extreme Hockey and Sport, home of the price match guarantee. Under new management, you can go and visit them for your baseball player. Locations in Regina and now Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw. Oh, I got a couple of text messages I want to read. We're going to have to do that in hour 3, and we'll have Glen Suitor and Liam Pugh again. Also hear from Carson Sombach. We'll be back after the news. 2 hours down, one more to go on this Tuesday with my man Cold. Getting by. Actually, I don't feel that bad, Colson. I feel like I'm turning the corner. Could be all the drugs, and I've had too many cough candies today, by the way. It's going around. If you're just tuning in, feels like I've been hit by a truck, and I have been hit by a truck. I was at a slow pitch tournament in Attons Lake. It was slow moving, but yeah, it hurt. Every time I cough, it feels like I got a 2x4, the pointy end of a 2x4 being run right into my ribs. It's maybe your kids have it. If your kids have it, stay away from them because it's going around the schools. We're making it happen today. It's been a great show so far. You can go back and listen to any of it in podcast form if you missed it, or watch on YouTube. How about a shout out? We have Nico that's in Japan listening, and then we also have Pianacon, something like that, from Norway. Valorstrad, Norway. That is a place I want to go. Norway's supposed to be one of the best places in the world to live. They're really wealthy. I loved Finland and Sweden, and I know a guy that was in Norway last year, and his pictures, oh man, is that some nice country over there. So look at us, Japan, Norway, really bringing them in. Trent earlier from Buffalo Narrows. We got it all here on the cage. James said he's a huge Proline fan. He likes our sprinkle of the day as well. 936-6262. Participate. Let us know. 936-6262. Tiger Woods playing golf tonight. Some of you have messaged in about that. Looking forward to seeing Tiger play at the Masters if he can. He's hitting into a screen tonight, the virtual golf. Lots of NHL action, SJHL around the province. A lot of people are going to that. We had Mason Nyhus on just before the break talking flag football. I bet you, was it dollars to donuts? Is that the saying? That's the saying. And this never made sense to me, to be honest with you. But anyway, this guy's going to want to talk some flag football. Glen Suitor.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Freeze Tome and Lumber. Locally owned, family grown, rooted in our community for 70 years in Regina and Fort Capel.
Man, I'm beat up.
Are you okay, man? Are you going to get through it? Or you got to push? You get
Turn in the
quarter.
corner. So soft, yeah. Glenn. I can't believe, and as I get older, it's so soft. Okay, I got to. Yes. Where do we want to start on what we saw? First off, I teased this in hour one. Let's start here. Okay. Nathan Rourke, you were gonna mosey on out to Cloverdale, British Columbia. Where I went to a racetrack there with my dad when I was younger. Yes. Cloverdale, British Columbia, the ponies. But Nathan Rourke was supposed to be playing in the men's flag league. Did that happen?
No. I went out there and I actually ended up watching an hour and a half of the opening day of flag football in BC. And 5-on-5 flag, which is the universal or international game. And apparently he had for week one, he had a previous engagement. He's very busy with the promotion of the BC Lions and the CFL in the province of BC. I mean, I'm not sure there's a busier player doing all the functions than Nathan Rourke in the league, but so he'll be there next week. So I'll extend that and go watch him next week and get a little video for our podcast as well. And they're going to be out in Surrey next week in week 2 of the league. But I watched his team, the Van City Vice, and after watching on the weekend, Barney, and watching this team, I thought, man, Team USA, the Olympic team, which by the way, bang on, you were bang on about your prediction before the tournament. That Olympic team, I think the Van City Vice, without Nathan Rourke, just watching their team on the weekend would give them a really good game. I mean, they looked fantastic. And watching the top flight players go, I saw a lot of what we saw on the weekend from the USA team. Not the NFL guys, but the USA team. And you could see just the quickness necessary. When you go stand by the field, you see how small the field is, actually really tight and small spaces to work in, and yet guys are springing free, and how you avoid being, have the flags being pulled, how you can lower your hip level, all of those things on display really close. So I will update everybody on Nathan Rourke next week. He will be playing next weekend. I'm going to go check him out in Surrey. But didn't play this past weekend.
What was the maybe the first thoughts when you saw Team USA on the TV?
Well, the first thing is, and I think you guys have already talked about this at length, but clearly there was, an issue for the NFL players with regards to the rules and to the nuance and to just the schemes necessary and things like that. But what I saw and I think was on display was much bigger than that, which was much more, if you step away and think of it in a overall big picture way, you're looking at a Team USA that had the right style of athletes. So if you were just going to say, watching the weekend tournament, who were the best athletes on the field? You have to say Team USA, because they were the best athletes for this game, for this style of game. Something I've been saying for years with regards to the comparison between the CFL and the NFL. Our game is very different, and when it's different, it requires a different style of athlete, not better or worse. Just a different style, maybe smaller, quicker. That line off the line of scrimmage is different. All of those things. So I was watching thinking that the NFL players are clearly showing here they're all tremendous athletes. Don't get me wrong. They're tremendous football players in their leagues. But when you put them on the field, the best athletes on the field in this tournament were Team USA. And if you're going to say, well, wait a minute, if they start hitting, then we really find out. Then we really find out who can play. Well, okay, that's a ridiculous statement because I could say, well, what if we add another ball like they did in Top Gun on the beach? Let's add another ball, and then let's see which athletes we eliminate at that point. So it was a chance to sort of look at it from a comparison, how we always are comparing our two leagues, and that comparison often turns into a real negative feeling. One of the reasons that the CFL has had difficulties at times selling the game in certain cities is because of this narrative that it's second best. If it's the NFL and then it's everything else, it's second best. But our game has different small details and different rules that require a different style of athlete. They are still world class, as I've said for years, as the NFL are world class. And I think that was on display in this flag tournament. One thing that was very interesting and very apparent as well, Barney, was the fact that the Fox crew in the booth spent 3 hours trying to find excuses for why this was happening, and really didn't want to face the fact that these athletes for this game are better. They're quicker, they're smaller, they know how to avoid having the flag pulled by lowering their hips and different moves, something that the NFL guys just didn't have.
To the broadcast crew, Greg Olsen and
great crew, by the way. I like both those guys.
Yeah,
in
but the
NFL.
only thing is, Olsen kind of sounds like a putz, because he goes into it and he's talking about, I'm talking to Sean Payton and he's been studying for weeks and he knows this inside out, and Shanahan has been going through tape and all that, and then they come out and it looks like they were blindfolded, led to a field, and then being like, all right, you're playing this. And it was like, what did they study? If you don't know that you were going to, like, do you have the Luke Kuechly? Can we play that for Suits? Yeah. Colson's going to pull this Luke Kuechly clip. And because he's one of the guys that I have a note. What does it say here? It was unfortunate that Gronk got hurt early. Luke Kuechly looked like the old man playing on a beach at a Mexican resort, and you need an extra guy, and he's like, oh, I'll play, and he comes out. But here was Kuechly's clip on it.
I think certainly shows body type, right? I mean, me, Logan, we're not built for this game. I think when you look at it, you would build it with corners and nickels on the defensive side of the ball, and then fast skill guys on the offensive side of the ball. So it was a tremendous opportunity for me to play, and I loved it. And like Tom talked about, the camaraderie and the fellowship and the opportunity to put cleats on has been great. But I think the linebackers are going to want to get themselves in that game. But it feels a lot like a nickel corner game on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good that he showed a little respect there, because that first game in the round robin, it was a little embarrassing to watch the NFL players trash talking while they were being schooled on the field. I mean, it was, the rule number one about trash talking is don't do it when you're getting just beat down, and that's exactly what was going on. And then all of a sudden they started to get in each other's faces, and I thought, okay, guys, come on. Like this, you have to admit that you're the second best athletes on the field right now for this game and what it requires. And when it comes to flag, you mentioned Rob Gronkowski, and I was really interested to see what a player like that, a body type like that, a speed, a guy that doesn't have the top end speed, but has that great size and reach and tall, and the catch radius is excellent. And I thought in that first series that Gronk looked great. I mean, I thought, he could be very effective. He scored, I think, a touchdown or a convert. I can't remember. I think it was a touchdown. That's when he got hurt. He got hurt getting up.
Yeah, I know.
Slipped, which was too bad. But it made me think of immediately like a Justin McInnes for Canada in the Olympics. I mean, Justin McInnes is 6'4". He's got great reach, a great catch radius. Top end speed wise, there's faster guys in the league, but Gronk showed that a big, tall receiver can be very effective in touch or flag football. So there was that. I saw one social media post where they said, and it was ESPN, I believe, who said Tom Brady looked great was the big headline, and then underneath in smaller print it said, but the USA team dominated the tournament. I thought you guys need to switch that because let's be real, Tom Brady looked okay on a couple throws. Like this one was a good throw. Okay, so but let's not get crazy about Tom Brady looking great in the flag football tournament. He didn't. No one on the NFL teams looked great.
That's funny.
I mean, there was a couple good catches.
Odell Beckham Jr. was that was sick, but they were so few and far between. And just like that Brady catch, if you're watching the stream, that's the Odell Beckham smaller ball, just totally one-handing it like a Nerf football, like something that you'd be throwing in a pool at a resort. But it was funny because after that touchdown that Brady throws, they kind of got they're a little cocky there. Like, it's like, okay, yeah. And then I think the one point where they were starting to get shellacked, and there was 12 seconds left on the clock, and the United States got the ball, and they marched the entire field in 12 seconds, just because they're so elusive. They couldn't pull the flag. They got over, then they ran another play, and then the guy ran it in, right? Like it was something. I'm so glad it happened. And then, like I said last week, part of me was like, okay, well, now they're going to regroup and want a rematch. But after that, I don't think there ain't going to be any rematches. I kind of equated it to at times when Drago beat the snot out of Apollo Creed in Rocky IV. Like, so this is an exhibition. Throw in the towel. That's what it felt like at the beginning. And the rules aside, and you can't run into guys. The obstruction, we called it obstruction on the center. That penalty, that's tough. And that's one thing I didn't think about until they started playing the game, and I'm like, ooh, that center has to get out of the way of the rusher. That is always very tricky. That's why the center is such an important position on the field. And it's just, it was just so lopsided that I'm like, well, maybe though now they'll want to do some sort of friendly with Canada and a Mexico, get a few teams and do something made for TV like that.
Yeah, and you're right. I thought the same thing watching it, especially in the first game when I saw some trash talking from the NFL guys, and I thought, dude, just stop it. You're embarrassing yourself. Yes. And then I thought, I wonder if the NFL calls. Tom Brady had something to do with this, the organization of this, correct? Like I'm not sure on how it all came together, except I think he had something to do with it, or at least that's what I heard. And I'm wondering if they get a call from the NFL saying, guys, let's not do this anymore because this is not showing our game in the best light, like our athletes. And, I honestly, you look at it, I saw one post in social media that said from an NFL insider, like a well-respected NFL insider, who said something along the lines like, this game looks like grandpas playing against their grandkids. Like, this is bad. And then another insider saying, I can't believe the hubris of these NFL players to be this cocky and be just schooled on the field. Like, so all that aside, does that mean that the NFL are not great football players in their league? No. Of course they are. Of course they are. No one's disrespecting what they do on the field on Sunday.
It's two different games. Like I said, it's two different games. The skill sets of the guys and the women, wait till you see the women play, that are really good at it, it's just different. Now, okay, I think this might put to rest, and Nathan Rourke included.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I think this might put to rest the whole pros having or getting the chance to go play in the Olympics. Because if you're not going to put in a hard year and a bit to play and learn it and all that, because you're playing, your livelihood and your regular job is to be a professional player. You're not going to be able to pick it up, and then you ain't going to be any better than the guys that we saw on Team USA. Now keep in mind, Team USA, Mexico, Canada, Italy, Japan, off the top of my head, those 4 are really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. And it's just not going to happen.
Hey, the Van City Vice looked really, really good. I saw a guy here who's 67 years old named Dale Baxter, who is a tremendous touch football player, flag football player in British Columbia. He's in the BC Football Hall of Fame, and for his flag and touch football. And he was out there playing at 67, and I comparing it to the tournament that I saw Team USA, I said, that's more like what would be successful. He may have beat Tom Brady and Joe Burrow and those guys, like it and this idea, and this is what I want to sort of nail home here is that this idea that it was just because they didn't know the rules, and once they know the rules, they'll be way better, is false. It's partly body type, it's the different nuance, it's the quickness, it's the, when you can't just say, well, as soon as they learn the rules, then watch. Okay, well, let them learn the rules and watch. And to your point, Barney, about the pros, in either league, CFL or NFL, going and playing touch football, the way to do it is the way that Nathan Rourke is trying to do it, which is to go ahead and put a year in. Play with a team. You're going to have to get out there and see, first of all, if this game fits your athleticism, your level of athleticism. Where are you physically with respect to this game? And I'm again trying to nail home, this is my discussion on comparing the CFL and the NFL. It's not one just supermans and demigods and guys working in the Justice League and then everybody else. That's not how it works. They're just guys. They're guys that run 4-3, just like in our league. There are guys, but our league is slightly different. And because of those differences, it requires, in a lot of ways, a different type of athlete, different type of O lineman, different type of D lineman, all of those things. So, I tried to step back and look at it from that perspective as well while I was watching on the weekend. And, I think if you're an NFL or CFL player right now and you want to play in the Olympics for your country, you have got to be playing some touch football to see if you can do it and be successful and not be beat out by somebody else. Like none of those guys on Team USA played in the NFL. I didn't see one on the roster that had NFL experience. So those guys, and it wasn't close. I mean, it wasn't close. They scored. There was 2 games, and the USA quarterback had not thrown an incompletion.
Antoine and Regina on the text line, actually. Usually some great texts from Antoine. He said, I did appreciate one of the comments from the broadcaster saying the game is built more for guys like Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Didn't like how they were making excuses. It's a different game. You wouldn't send Major League Baseball players to play Olympic softball. Let the amateurs have their moment. They've obviously earned it. Yeah, amateurs, or it's just different. Like I was really trying to was this kind of like basketball but 3-on-3? And I'm like, no, it's even more different than that.
But remember, Barney,
being entrenched in it.
Yeah. I mean, you played it, you were coaching it, so the rule differences and things like that.
I feel really bad that guy's 67, and I feel that I can't play at 48. I might have to reevaluate.
Dale looked great out there. He was out there on Sunday in Cloverdale. I was like, I had a long talk with him. I talked to the owner. I've got a lot of stats and stuff we can do another time. But
there's an owner?
Well, the organizer of the league, the guy who's put this whole 5-on-5 league together.
I thought they had an owner of the team. I was like, whoa, mama, sticks and gas.
It's gone from 22 or 25 teams to now it's at 57. Jeez. A 300% increase in registration for ladies. I mean, it is taking off. It's exploding. And boy, I really enjoyed watching the athleticism and quickness on the field on Sunday. And, again, this is more than the rules. When someone comes on, Barney, and says, well, as soon as they learn the rules, then they were better athletes for this game in that tournament, the Team USA. I know that's hard for people to comprehend, but because you play in the NFL doesn't mean you walk on water.
No,
it means you make a lot of money to play football, and you're a good football player. Believe me, you're a great football player.
And probably got some breaks along the way.
Yeah, got some breaks. Got a coach in the NFL that liked you and at the right time, and didn't get that tweak on your hamstring at the right time, and all of those things came into, and you got the big paychecks. But again, what a revealing tournament when it comes to this overall argument about the level of athlete in both leagues, or in leagues around the world for that matter. I saw some great world-class level athletes when I watched Team Italy play tackle football last year at this time when I was in Europe. And I thought, there are probably 15 guys that could be playing pro football in North America on the field right now. And so we shouldn't be degrading it down to, well, that's not even pro, because there are guys that can play, so that's what was revealing to me. And I don't want to rant on it or anything like that. I guess I already have, but
no, we both did. No, that's why we've been talking about it so much. We had to talk about it and unpack it all today. Before I forget, what Glen Suitor press coverage is now for Fries Tallman Lumber in Regina and Fort Capel. You can't wait to meet the team over at Fries Tallman.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's in my wheelhouse because I am the try to fix it myself guy. So
they got people that can help with that.
Yeah, I look at something and I go, I'd like to build a little desk there or something, or a extension for my computer that I could put on, and I need some wood and I need some screws and I don't know what I need, but it sounds like these are the guys to talk to.
When are you getting your schedule for games? Is that still coming yet?
Any day now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thursday you're going to be with Dave and Sharky, and then I'm off on work trip next week. So you and I won't talk for a week and a half-ish.
Chicken soup, man. Lots of chicken soup.
Yeah, well, I've heard. Roscoe said earlier, Barney, you should try some garlic. I said, I don't have the Kavorka. Seinfeld? And Kramer's got the Kavorka. I know you're a Seinfeld guy.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Kramer had the dog cough, too. What is that called? Not the puppy cough.
Smuckers. Yeah. Yeah. We have the same cough. All right. Almost 2 weeks, and then we'll catch up right on, Glenn. See you later.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks.
Press coverage, Glen Suitor, like I said, now brought to you by Fries Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel. If you want to do it yourself, big box stores, go to Fries Tallman. They can get it. But if you need someone to do that job, like I need someone to repair my steps this year, Fries Tallman will hook me up material and find someone that can do that job for me. It's a Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Okay. $100 today from Pump Jacks Cathedral. Fantastic spot. I like it after work personally, but lots of taps, great food. Pump Jacks Cathedral, located in Regina, Albert, and 13th. Here's the question today. If you haven't won anything in the last 30 days, 936-6262. You got to call in. 936-6262. What Saskatchewan team has won the most U18 AAA titles? That's midget AAA national titles. Sorry. What Saskatchewan team has won the most U18 national AAA titles? Call in right now. 936-6262.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
All right, SJHL Playoffs continue tonight around Saskatchewan in Melville. Tied 1-1. Yorkton's in town, 7 o'clock. Down in Estevan, Flin Flons got a 2-0 lead, taking on the Bruins, 7 p.m. start. In Weyburn, Nipawin visits. That series tied 1-1, and Battleford's in Melfort. Battleford's leads 2-0. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Montreal welcoming the Hurricanes. Ottawa's in Detroit. Winnipeg home to the Golden Knights. Flames take on the Los Angeles Kings at home. Edmonton is in Utah. Vancouver welcomes Anaheim, and the Leafs are in Boston. Sports ticker for Regina Steelcraft Doors, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Regina Steelcraft Doors. Waiting to find out if we have someone on the line for our Pump Jacks Cathedral trivia. Okay. Colson got one of the callers. Wade. Wade is on the... Wade, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Playing for $100 at Pump Jacks Cathedral. What Saskatchewan team has won the most U18 male national titles?
I'm going to just take a wild guess, Saskatoon.
Ooh, Wade. There's 2 teams in Saskatoon.
Oh, no.
You still win a lunch, Wade. You still win a lunch. Stay on the line. Stay on the line. Colson will take your information. The answer was, somebody got it on the text line, but should have called in. It was the Notre Dame Hounds with 5 championships. So that means next week, $150 is what we're playing for. It is the Sports Cage. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to hear from young Liam Pugh. If you missed it in hour 1. Sports Cage. We're going to Carson Sombach with Dave Thomas right now. Carson Sombach, who's going to be at the CFL Combine right after the break.
It's time to head out on the guest hotline. We're pleased to be joined by University of Regina defensive back Carson Sombach. Carson, thanks for taking time. I know it's busy with the CFL Combine, so the first question is, are you ready for it?
I think so. I've been preparing since the beginning of December and kind of getting dialed in on all the combine drills and having practice and doing indies and stuff like that. So I think I've prepared the best I can.
Is it different participating for that specific of a skill set that you need to reach your maximum performance level for those very specific drills?
Yeah, you train a little differently. You train like not as much broad and reactive and more specific to those drills that you're going to be going through in the combine, like the 40, the shuttle, the L. You kind of work through those exact techniques and those exact drills, multiply, break it up, and then run the full thing just to try and dial in those drills as best you can.
Now, there's also going to be a component with some team play, right? How does that work for a defensive back?
Yeah, they do skelly and some team inside run, stuff like that. So I'm going to take it in like I do every practice, go over, they're going to have some plays, go over the playbook, know those by like the back of my hand, and kind of just take my instincts and my football ability, and I feel like that's where I'll kind of shine in those aspects. And I think that's just like playing football, seeing whether you can play football. So I think that's where I'm going to show them that I can do that.
Someone once told me in football operations that sometimes guys that are the best show up when the best is required at the big times and the big moments in games. You've shown that throughout your career with some huge interceptions with the University of Regina, some big tackles at key times. How do you make sure that ability shows through in this combine?
I think just staying level-headed, staying calm. I feel like when the intensity rises and it comes to make a big play, a lot of people get scrambled and they start overthinking everything. And I think I just have the ability to kind of stay calm in the moment and really just like think out clearly and just be reactive and instinctual in those moments and make the play when the play needs to be made.
Carson Sombach, your brother Jackson plays for the Calgary Stampeders. Obviously, he's been through this before. Has he given you advice along the way?
Yeah, he's kind of told me about what the days look like, how to stay prepared for it. Giving me some ideas on how the interviews look, what the day-to-day looks like, and I feel like that's super helpful for me that a lot of people don't necessarily have going into this combine. So I'm going to take the intel I've heard from my brother and what he's recently gone through, and also thankfully the combine was in Regina last year. When I went and watched that, I have some intel on that and what kind of the combine process looks like. So kind of take those and prepare myself the best that I can.
Is there any portion, and this is going to sound ridiculous, Carson, is there any portion of the combine that is easier than the other? For example, maybe the individual drills, maybe it's going into the skelly, or maybe it's doing the interviews. Is there anything that you're more confident in one portion than another?
The thing I'm most confident in would probably be the team drills, like the indie drills, the skelly, the one-on-one, stuff like that. Things that are just football related, because I feel like that playing football is what I'm good at, and that's what I want to show them that I can do. And I feel like the nerves are going to be off a lot more when I start playing football, and that they can see that. So I feel like that's what I'm most confident in.
So the interviews in the boardrooms, how do you feel about those?
I've heard some questions that could have possibly been happening from my brother, Jackson Ford, Delani, like all the guys who've been there before. So hearing some of the questions from them makes me kind of nerve-wracking. It is nervous going into a situation where you're sitting in front of a GM, a head coach, a defensive coordinator. And so, yeah, that's probably what I'm most nervous for going into it. But I feel like I'll represent myself well. And, yeah, I've been trying to prepare for that also. So hopefully that goes good.
How do you prepare for that? Do you ask Chat GPT, what are the questions I might get asked at the combine, or what?
Well, my brother and Jackson Ford and all those guys give me a couple questions that they've had talking to some of the other DBs that they went to the combine with, some of the questions they had that they might have not. So I kind of have a little bit of idea of what they're going to ask, or at least the hard ones that I can kind of prepare for a little bit, but also just making sure I know all the personnel, like all the staff, all the, like the head coach, the DC, all that, and like know them by name and what they look like and all that, just to be as personal as possible.
A great strategy going in. You talked about representing. You had an opportunity to represent yourself and your school at the 2025 East-West Bowl, and a lot of the athletes that were there are going to be taking part in this combine, so some familiar faces. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. When we were at the East-West Bowl, all of us guys on the West team, we got pretty close. We spent a full week together, so we even went bowling together, and you end up being pretty close. There's no bad blood, even though you play for different teams. You go there and you realize we're all the same. We just chose different schools, and we all ended up being friends. So it'll be nice to have some familiar faces there to talk to and go through the experience with.
And again, Carson, you go through your career, your success in large part is defined by winning a Hardy Cup championship, getting there again with the University of Regina Rams. There's very much team-oriented aspects of what your success has looked like in football thus far. What will success look like for you at the Combine?
Success for me at the Combine, it'll just be doing my best, not trying to compare myself to other people and seeing what other people are doing and trying to beat that. Just do the best that I can, set as many personal bests as I can, just compete to the best of my abilities. And if I'm happy with how I performed overall and not comparing myself to others, but just trying to beat what I've done in the past and compete with myself, I think that'll be a successful Combine.
So, Carson, last question for you then. As you're getting yourself set, you've definitely got a big support system around you. How many family members, friends, whomever might be there with you in Edmonton as you go through this process to lend your support, and how much are you leaning on them?
I lean on them a lot, especially my brother. I don't know if he's going down or not, but I know my parents are. But just talking to him about the whole process is super nice. Having Ethan Graham down there with me, another one of my teammates, that'll also be really good, just to talk about the process with and how things are going. But I have a big support system, a lot of guys in the locker room that I lean on, and maybe just having calls with them and talking through it, and having my parents there. And then if I ever have any questions about the process, what Jackson might went through, being able to give him a call and talk that out too would be super, super nice.
Carson, we wish you all the very best in Edmonton at the CFL Combine. Appreciate your time, and thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
University of Regina Rams defensive back Carson Sombach joining us as he prepares for the CFL Combine in Edmonton.